As I got my first math test back during my first semester at Michigan State, I couldn't help but smile. I bombed it. I didn't smile because I enjoyed failing, but because I knew my lack of knowledge about finding the shaded area casted by a 7.3-foot tree at 4 in the afternoon will have zero relevance in my future. As I do in many of the classes here at Michigan State, I find myself asking, why the heck do I need to know this? Taking classes that might not be necessary for our future careers still play a huge role in the growth of college students. Time management, learning to succeed, and being able to work with others are all hidden benefits of seemingly useless college courses. Now that you are thinking about how meaningless your dangerous art class is, you should also think about how meaningful it can be. The great thing about college is you can do whatever you want when you want, which leads to a lot of wasted time. My first semester, I skipped a class a total of one time. It was my 8 a.m. on Monday, and I simply just did not want to go. I figured I can get the notes from someone else, and that's exactly what I did. I'm not supporting skipping classes one bit, but now that you're by yourself without your parents nagging you to do this and do that, you can do whatever you want when you want. That being said, you need to learn quick about yourself, your habits, and how you succeed best. Looking back to my freshman year, I had a lot of classes that I do not remember much of what I learned, but what I do remember is how I learned and when I work best. Between football games on Saturdays, going to parties on Fridays, and grabbing meals with my roommates daily, I needed to learn how to manage my time to get my schoolwork done. As, as I said, the classes that you don't want to go to are still important. It's in these classes that we learn how to manage our time. Cramming in college does not work quite as well as it did in high school. The general courses like ISS and IH are almost like a trial run. I believe MSU requires some of these classes, not because they care if you know the population of Afghanistan is 31,108,077, but so you learn how much work you need to put in to succeed in a class. Once I started getting into my major specific classes, my study habits and organization carried over from these general courses. Now that you know it is important to learn how to manage your time, you need to learn how you learn best. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. To sum this up, if you failed your first exam and plan on studying the same amount or the same way for your second exam, you should expect to fail. Each class is different and might need a different method of studying and different level of commitment and effort. Learning how to succeed in the class is just as important as the material you are supposed to learn. This definition of insanity can also be seen in a positive way. If you learn one way to succeed, try doing it over, and maybe you'll succeed again and again. I remember my sophomore year, I had an IH class with Dr. McGee. His focus was on making us think. He wanted us all to be great thinkers. He taught us about history, but that was not the main point of his lectures. He always asked us why. He used a grading format different than most of my other classes. We would have papers, but each one would build on the other, and the grade would take place of the previous. He wanted our thinking to get more critical and our learning to be deeper. He pushed us to make our previous work better. I did not have a full grasp on the history of the world, but I learned what he wanted and learned how to play the game he was asking us to play. I learned from my failures at the beginning of the class, so I was able to succeed at the end of the class. Learning to succeed in the classroom is important, but learning how to interact with people is a necessity. In my experience, one of the most important things I continue to learn at Michigan State is how to work with people. At Michigan State, there are roughly 49,000 students. 26,000 students are white like me, but the rest are different races, and the majority come from different backgrounds than me. No matter what career path a student has, they will be in contact with other people. Learning how to work with people of other backgrounds is a must. Whether it's a math class in your art major, a computer class in your fisheries and wildlife major, chances are you're going to have to work with a group at some point. This is when you develop your people skills. I have dealt with people in my groups that I never want to see again, and some people that I call up on the weekends to go get a drink at the bar. Working with people you like and dislike is the best way to prepare for the future. Like I have said before, it is not the material that is important is your ability to manage time efficiently, your work ethic, and your ability to work with others successfully. Taking classes that might not be necessary for our future careers still play a huge role in the growth of college students. Although you might question why you need to learn about a certain topic you will never need to use in your career, remember there is more to it. You are at this great university to learn. Learn how to balance your time between classes, parties, and sporting events. Learn how you learn best and how to win the games your professors ask you to play. Lastly, learn how to work with people. People that are different from you and people that are practically the same. Going into my final year at Michigan State, I look back to when I first called my mom complaining about the tests making no sense and the papers receiving failing grades that would have been A's in high school. I realize it does not matter what grades I get. That does not define us. What defines us at the end of our college career is our growth. Can we take what we learned from our failure and our obstacles we went through in classes and apply that to be more efficient people, more critical thinkers, and better team players?